Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Halal Times YouTube channel. Today we got a wonderful speaker. He's based in the United Arab Emirates and he's got deep experience in the field of Islamic finance and Islamic Fintech. And I hope, inshallah, we'll be able to learn a lot from him. So let's get started. Brother, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak with us today, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The very first question, which we generally ask our special guests like you, is that could it be possible for you, please, to let us know a bit about yourself, your background, your educational background, and then how you got started in the Islamic fintech and Islamic finance industry?
First of all, thank you for the invitation and a very warm welcome to the listener or the viewer of the Halal Times. As it will be mostly on Islamic finance related discussions. So let's start how I started my journey in Islamic finance industry. Alhamdulillah, I started my Islamic finance journey with INSIF Malaysia. I did my master's there. I spent a great time there. In short, from my experience, if I want to brief it in one line. So if you breathe in INSIF, you inhale knowledge. That's what I felt studying in INSIF. So it was a great experience. So then after my study, I didn't explore Malaysia. I wanted to go back to my place and dreamed of contributing to the local market. Then I joined a rating institution. I was involved with the institutional rating, mostly the banks and non-banking financial institutions. Later, we tried to introduce Sharia rating, and we were in a discussion and collaboration with RAM Rating Malaysia. Then I actually joined Millennium Information Solution, and I'm still with them. Alhamdulillah, it's actually a software solution provider. From Millennium, we actually mostly focus on the solution for the Islamic banking. In Millennium, I was mostly involved with Ababil. Ababil is the Islamic core banking solution that provided by Millennium Information Solution. So I got the chance to be part of the designing Islamic core banking solution. And later on, I even got the chance to get involved with a version that has been designed as of AUFI standards. And later, we were able to actually attain the Sharia compliance certificate from the ISTA Consulting Malaysia. Apart from this, if I consider in terms of fintech, we are actually still trying to come up with some solution based on blockchain and AI. We actually implemented AI in some part of our core banking solution. Currently, we are in the process of implementing BI in one of our product offerings. So this is pretty much what I'm doing. And then since 2019, I'm stationed in Dubai for our global office for the international operations.
And as far as your current responsibilities are concerned, of course, we would like to know a bit more and who your target customers are and what geographical areas do you cover as the head of the pre-sales at the company you're working for these days?
I would love to believe that actually currently I play a very crucial role in the business development process and will actually work closely with the global sales activities in managing work orders and scheduling priorities. Apart from that, I maintained a close relationship with the cross-functional stakeholders. Then in terms of at the level of customers engagement of Millennium Information Solution, I demonstrate product offerings according to the client's requirements, then manage customized project requests, even at times of handling projects. At times I have to handle the project till it doesn't go to a major stages of implementation. From Millennium, we're actually offering a banking suite. Ababil is actually considered as a banking suite. We would love to believe that this is actually the one-stop solution for Islamic finance, where we are offering core banking solution, microfinance solution, agent banking, branchless banking for both banking, anything and everything has to do with an Islamic bank. Alhamdulillah, we are actually offering under Ababil. So currently we are actually focusing in three regions, we are focusing in Africa and CIS countries and also on Indonesia.
And sir, you're also engaged with the AOI-FI fintech initiatives. So could you please tell us a bit about the project which you're part of it?
So I was appointed to the working group for fintech in last year. It's been around 11 months. We are actually assigned to actually draft a standard for fintech. And the objective of the standard is to set out a comprehensive framework for Islamic fintech governance with detailed coverage of areas relating to the fintech and disclosure related to the areas related to, especially mostly on the related areas. And not only for the fintech companies, it will give a what I can say, boosting. It will help in boosting the confidence of the investors also. So, Alfie, I would love to believe that they are kind enough. They felt the need to develop a comprehensive fintech project. Alfie is actually focusing in three sub-working groups. One in fintech, digital banking, and cryptocurrencies. So for me, I'm actually assigned for fintech, initial study and consultation notes, preparation regarding fintechs, in addition to participate in brainstorming processes on different assigned projects related to this standard and discussing and reviewing all the project deliveries before the submitting same on the board. And finally, hopefully by 2023, our firm will be able to actually publish the standard, inshallah.
That's really amazing. So you mean to say that you are also actively working with Islamic fintech players as well on regular basis?
We are still in a very initial stage of this project, so we haven't gone to that stage. Hopefully, in future, definitely there will be scopes to collect actually different feedbacks from the practitioners.
You are a graduate of the best Islamic finance institution in the world, INCF, of course, without any doubt. So do you think that that institution is providing enough number of graduates in the Islamic finance industry who could help flourish the industry, not only in Malaysia, but in other parts of the world as well?
First of all, alhamdulillah that I get a chance to get a degree from INCF, and certainly I think this is the only university in the world who actually offering post-graduation degrees in Islamic finance only, because we are only focused in master's and PhD degrees. As of my understanding, because it's been a while, I'm graduate from INCF. So what I can see, the people from our time, they are well set in different places. I can see them, they are heading different Islamic research institutions. Because what I believe that if you want to be an Islamic finance practitioner, you should have a basic level of education, and it will never ever come from your online researches and other stuff. It will always be like those who have the formal education on Islamic finance. They will be in the upper hand for sure. And certainly, INSEF provides a great quality of education. And alhamdulillah, as of my knowledge, the student graduated from INSEF I would love to believe that they are ruling. Currently, they are in a position that they will be ruling the Islamic finance industry in the next decade.
And sir, what is the future of the Islamic fintech industry in general? And are you satisfied with the performance of the Islamic fintech players around the globe?
As of different reports, what I believe that it's a report based on fintech market size was around 50 billion US dollar in 2020, and the growth rate is also high. But for me, the amount is still insignificant. But if you can analyze the market potential, then definitely we can say that there is a high hope. Another reason, the Muslim population is made up of some world's youngest and most tech-savvy individual, and its members are becoming are gradually more affluent, and so they will seek to grow their wealth over long term in a digital ecosystem. And also they're concerned about Sharia, Sharia-based alternatives. So definitely there are room for growth for the Islamic fintech companies. I think it's high time to ensure the value proposition of the Islamic finance. We spoke enough about ethical financing, risk sharing, asset creation. I believe it's time to confirm the inherent beauty of Islamic finance. And I believe that with Islamic fintech, Islamic finance can tap into new markets. They can offer new products new services, improve compliance to regulation, and they can offer enhanced customer experience. So what I'm saying is, I'm not denying the contribution of Islamic banks. We can understand they have some building blocks to ensure the real beauty of Islamic finance itself, because they are regulated by lots of regulations, and they are under the banks. For banks there are lots of limitations, but as Islamic fintechs, they are less regulated till now. So I believe they have the scope that they can ensure the value proposition of Islamic finance itself. So that's my expectation. And another area, I know they are actually focusing more only on retail banking, payment system, and we can sense that there will be a huge, what I can say, there will be a trend regarding tokenization. Every asset will be, every physical asset or whatever physical, if you can consider anything as an asset, that can be tokenized. So based on blockchain, there will be lots of ideas with crypto and blockchain. There will be lots of ideas coming up. But I would love to believe that the fintech players, from the Islamic point of view, they should focus on the social funds also. So we have a huge sleeping giant in Islamic finance regarding waqf, zakat, and sadaqah. So if we can integrate these three items, social financing with blockchain technologies and other digital banking, it will actually ensure the financial inclusion also, and also it will actually reduce the fraudulent activities, which is always prone to this social financing related activities.
MashaAllah. That's great. And sir, what are the main challenges these fintech players are facing, and how can AO, IFI, and other organizations like your company, Millennium, help them solve these problems?
I think they're facing different challenges. Like I think one of the challenges is Sharia non-compliance risk, because I was going through some reports where they were suggesting that around 50% of the fintech players actually convinced that they should have a Sharia compliance certificate for their businesses, but the rest of the segment, they are actually questioning that. They are coming with the argument that Sharia, the technology is Sharia neutral. So why we have to come up with the Sharia certification and all those processes? But the area which demands the most Sharia resources and expertise in fintech are blockchain functionalities and the application related to crypto asset and artificial intelligence. I believe these are the three areas will be at the forefront in the next decade, and that requires significant research and knowledge creation. And apart from this, definitely there is a big issue related to regulatory, because most of the places it is maintained by local regulation, and but no, there's certainly no universally accepted regulatory body for Islamic fintech exists till now, and this is quite expected. Institution like AUFI is coming up with a voluntary move regarding drafting a standard regarding fintech, and apart from AUFI, IFSB is actually has a dedicated segment to digital finance in the technical notes. So I think with all those discussion, Islamic fintech will be more regulated. There will be lots of more the what I can say, the whole industry will be more regulated in terms of regulatory compliance, because if you're not compliant, then they'll always be prone to different fines and charges, and they're confused with their development and business ideas. Even they have to rearrange or restructure their whole business concept. Apart from this, I believe there is a scarcity of human resources that need to be taken care, and there are some funding issues. I think the relevant government should take care of that, and they should support tax incentives and other financial support scheme, which are really important for both early stage or late stage fintech companies.
For example, I'm a fresh graduate. What advice would you like to give to me if I want to enter into Islamic finance or fintech industry?
if anyone is coming up with an idea, if I'm considering that he's coming up with an idea, so I would love to request him that definitely you should identify a problem and then come up with a solution. Hopefully there will be a valid proposition to your solution. From my experience, whatever I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing in the industry, you should get some basic Sharia knowledge, because the
Okay.
spirit of Sharia should be embedded in the products and services, and it shouldn't be just the cosmetic in nature, because there is a tendency that Sharia is actually the building blocks for innovation. Sharia is the base of this Islamic fintech, so you shouldn't
That's right.
consider that this is the building blocks for any kind of innovation. You should be there to add value, not just to be there to sell off your company when you can attract a big company, so that if you're in mind that I will be selling off my what I guess a fintech project and I will be wealthy. I think this should not be the approach.
Do you think that maybe we need to address some of the sectors which are still where we don't have any organizations, fintech companies serving the Muslim communities all over the world? Are there any specific sectors like that?
I think people are coming up with lots of ideas, but I haven't seen any what I can say very effective fintech company who is actually trying. Yeah, the few of them are trying to solve this one, but I would love to see that more companies are coming up with a solution for the social financing. So that would be groundbreaking in terms of establishing the proposed value of the Islamic finance.
What do we need to do to improve the regulatory environment of Islamic financial institutions and Islamic fintech institutions as well, of course?
Okay, I think a collaboration or collaborative approach is required among the ecosystem partner in fintech innovators, regulators, government, those who are providing the fund, and also the different practitioners out there. Like with the help of our fee is not actually appointing people like us. They are actually, once we will be in what I can say, the standard will be in a draft stage, they will ask for feedback from the practitioners. So this is the time when practitioners should come up with with their feedbacks, so that people can actually collaborate with different ideas and come up with a common, what I can say, something which can actually serve a common goal. And apart from that, I think you're well aware of an initiative in Malaysia, what they call it FICRA. It's actually Islamic Fintech acceleration between the Securities Commission of Malaysia and UNCDF to actually promote the Islamic Fintech solution for capital markets. So it is important to actually strengthen the regulatory sandbox and to provide fintech hubs for both local and domestic fintech solutions.
Islamic finance is a relatively new industry. It touches a large parts of the Muslim societies, Muslim communities all over the world, not just in Muslim majority countries, but also in Muslim minority societies as well, like Japan, like Europe and America, North America and Canada as well. So there are a lot of Islamic financial institutions over there as well. Unfortunately, as for the halal industry, I'm talking about food, halal industry is concerned, despite the best efforts, we've not been able to achieve unified standards. One global halal standard we have not been able to achieve so far. Of course, there are efforts being made, but do you think that Islamic finance and Islamic fintech industries could be a little different as far as achieving this ambitious goal of having unified standards is concerned?
For halal industry, I think definitely the standardization is a common problem. Like in Islamic finance industry, we still have that issue. 22 countries are following our fee standard, but rest of them are following different standards also. But the thing is, actually, the Islamic banking or finance industry is way mature right now. They know how to actually deal with different views, and they are actually coming up with a mutual, what I can say, there's a mutual respect in between, and so that they can collaborate in different areas. So what I would love to believe that a policy of mostly for the Islamic banks, so that they can actually come up with their experience, they can actually share the experience to the halal industry, and they can, and we can, if we can create a ecosystem where Islamic banks they will take the lead because they're the most mature in this halal ecosystem. So they will actually guide the other like the fintechs and the halal food industries so that they can come up with may not be a full or I can say full-fledged standard which will be followed all over the world. But what I'm saying is that they can share the knowledges so that how they can mitigate the what I can say differences and they can work for a common goal. And another thing is what I believe that in places where like the non-Muslim countries where halal food industries might need some funding also. In case of those funding, if Islamic banks come up with a policy that we will actually facilitate them, we will take care of them, not only financing, we will give them some guidance relevance to how they can be, how can they grow within different odds, because Islamic banking itself, they are actually working. I won't say it's fighting, but they are actually working along with conventional counterparts. So they have the experience. If they can channel those experience for seminars, for discussion to the halal food industry, I think thus we can actually create a halal ecosystem.
Jazakumullah. Thank you so much, brother. It's been really wonderful talking to you. MashaAllah, I learned a lot. And I hope our viewers will also be able to get a lot of very useful information for their own companies, for their personal journeys, as far as this industry is concerned. I really want to thank you so much for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.